Liam Noone, Ireland's king of matchmaking, stood in the back of Fitzgerald's pub, tapping his feet and bopping his head to a lively trad session. It seemed the entire town of Kilbane had turned out for this music and matchmaking festival. And with 5 days to go until the official opening, anticipation was high and the atmosphere was downright electric. He wasn't surprised at the turnout. Traditional Irish music sessions were always good crack. This evening, musicians of all ages and sexes were grouped together in the corner of the pub, forming as much of a circle with their chairs as they could manage in the cramped space. The instruments this evening included fiddles, guitars, a squeeze box, a bodhrán drummer, and several pipers. Trad music was a somewhat loose structure, housed within a timeless tradition, and that was part of its magic. The vibe of the session on any given night depended on who showed up with what instrument. And as if top-notch feel-good music wasn't enough, throwing the prospect of love into the mix amplified the celebration to a whole new level. Liam never imagined he would have taken on this challenge a second time, to find matches for single Irish trad musicians. But after last year's stint in Doolin, where he matched 6 single musicians in a town known for its trad sessions, a local reporter featured him in an article, and it seemed word had spread. So, 1 year later, when a woman named Siobhán O'Sullivan contacted him and requested the same service in Kilbane, County Cork, Liam Noone jumped at the opportunity. His job was full of surprises, and he wouldn't have had it any other way. Irish traditional music sessions were played in a variety of places. Pubs, festivals, out in the fresh air, gathered around a peat fire, when it was still legal to set peat on fire, or even around the dinner table. As long as there were skilled musicians who had the instruments and knew how to play jigs, reels and waltzes, a trad session could be formed. Tonight, the session leader was Jim McVeigh, a seasoned local musician, from what Liam had been told, and he was currently tuning his guitar and taking suggestions around the circle as to what to play next. A robust and smiling man, Jim was somewhere in his 60s, with whitish grey hair and a matching beard and moustache. He was full of life and full of tunes. Jim nodded to the publican, who ferried over pints for himself and his fellow musicians. Liam's business was based on observing folks, figuring out who they were and what made them tick. His job was to dig beneath the surface, dive past who they claimed to be, and discover who they really were instead. People rarely understood themselves, which is where Liam came in. This was a talented group, and Liam was thrilled to be tasked with finding matches for the single ones among them. Of course, that wasn't the only reason Liam wanted to be involved, but if he proceeded as usual, no one would ever be the wiser.